Hey guys, what's going on here? It's Shadow, and today I'm actually going to be doing a deck profile of one of my wife's decks. She plays Yu-Gi-Oh! Just like I do, and she has several of her own decks. So I thought that I would give her some love by showing off her Blue Eyes White Dragon deck. Now, before we get started, one thing that I'm going to say is she does not play meta, so there's no meta cards in this deck, and if you have really any negative comments, I please refrain from posting anything on the comment section below about it and complaining that, oh, she doesn't run this card, she doesn't have this. This is just her deck because this is what she enjoys, and she's been working really, really hard on it, so I would really appreciate you guys, showing her some support, showing her some love on it. And if you do have any suggestions on how to improve this deck, I'm always welcome to hear it, and she's always welcome to hear it too and everything. And I think it would be just really fun to show you how to actually play with a Blue Eyes deck and kind of some of the cards that you may see in a Blue Eyes deck. Alright, so without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. But if you haven't yet, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to this video. And please click that notification bell so you are notified of all my deck profiles, test hand, and combo videos, and any unboxings that I do. And I just want to say thank you for my subscribers. You guys are awesome. Keep up the good work. And please, without you guys are awesome. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do any of this. So without any further ado, let's just go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're going to start out, obviously, with three of the original, the OG, the Blue Eyes White Dragon. And it's 3,000 attack, obviously, 2,500 defense. Just like the Dark Magician, it was the original big boss monster of Yu-Gi-Oh! So that's what this whole deck is going to be focusing on, is bringing this out from the graveyard, special summoning it from the deck, and being able to special summon it from your hand and use it for your synchro plays, your fusion plays, exceed plays, link plays, whatever you want to do with this guy. Alright, so then we got 3 copies of Dragon Spirit of White. Dragon Spirit of White is actually a really good card because when it is normal or special summoned, you can destroy one spell or trap card on the field. Or banish it, banish it. And if your opponent controls a monster, you contribute this card to special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand. So he can help you bring out your Blue Eyes White Dragon just like every other card in here. Because that's the idea, is you want to be able to bring out the Blue Eyes, you want to be able to overwhelm your opponent, and just really, really attack for massive damage. And then 1 copy of Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon can be special summoned by revealing a Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand. And then while this card is on the field or in the graveyard, once per turn, it can target a monster your opponent controls and destroy it. So that's really, really good because it destroys a monster on the field, just like Dragon Spirit of White destroys spells and traps or banishes it. Then you get 1 copy of Deep. I love the artwork on this card, and I love like the Starlight Rare. Deep Eyes White Dragon. Now, Deep Eyes White Dragon, there's only 1 copy of it in here, and when you face a Blue Eyes White monster is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can special summon this card if you have a dragon type monster in your graveyard, and it does 600 points of damage for each different type dragon type monster with a different name in your graveyard. Also, when it's summoned, you can choose 1 dragon type monster in your graveyard, and you can make the attack and defense copy that one while it is on the field. So that is really, really good. If this card on the field is destroyed by a card effect, it destroys all monsters your opponent controls. So it's just complete board wipe. It's like Zeus or just like a Raigeki on its own. So it's really, really good. And it's a really actually nice hand trap because your opponent is not going to be expecting you to play something like that and being able to do actually be able to do burning damage on top of that and have like a 3,000, 2,500. And then when it gets destroyed by a card effect or whatever, then you can actually destroy all monsters. They'll be kind of afraid to be able to destroy it. Alright, then I got 1 Cosmo Brain. Cosmo Brain is a really good way to bring out a Blue Eyes. And you can when this cannot be normal summoned or set, so you can special summon it by sending a non-effect monster from your hand or face up on the field of the graveyard. The attack of this card will get pumped up. So the idea is that you want to be able to increase its attack times 200 by having a Blue Eyes White Dragon and making it like a 3,100, 3,200 or whatever to make it like a bigger boss monster. So that's the main idea of this deck. Because also you contribute 1 effect monster and special summon a normal monster from your hand or deck. So it's a good way to be able to get out the Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck. It's also because normally you can send it from the graveyard and you can special summon it that way. This brings it out to the deck. Alright, and then the one other copy is just one Honest. I have Honest on here, or she has Honest in here because it's a nice hand trap. All monsters in this deck are all light, so you don't have to worry about that, except for Cosmo Brain, and it just gives you an extra boost in attack. Okay, and then we got 3 copies of... Let's see if I can fix this. There we go, move it up. 3 copies of Maiden with Eyes of Blue. Now this is a very, very, very good card, because what this does is, if your opponent, or anything, if it's targeted for an attack, or it's targeted by an effect or anything, you can negate the attack and effect, switch this to defense mode, and then special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon. So that's amazing to be able to get that. So you end up getting a tuner and the Blue Eyes White Dragon to be able to set you up for Azure Eyes. And you'll be able to get 2 monsters on the field, so you can bring out, like, Borlo Dragon, Sakura Skull Dread. I know I'm butchering that name, I apologize. Sakura Skull Dread or whatever, so just whatever you want to be able to do. And then I got 3 copies of Protector with Eyes of Blue. There's 3 cards in here. When Protector of Eyes of Blue is normal summoned, you can special summon a level 1 light tuner monster from your hand, and then you can target effect monster you control, send it to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to summon this guy, and then you're going to want to special summon Maiden with Eyes of Blue normally. Then you're going to target the effect monster, so you're targeting it, and when you target it, you can special summon the Blue Eyes White Dragon. So that's the best way to be able to get a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand deck or graveyard, by doing that. Alright, just had to move that down. Alright, and then we have 2 copies of Sage with Eyes of Blue. Now this is a newer card too. Sage with Eyes of Blue is when this card is normal summoned, you can add a level 1 light monster from your tuner monster from your deck to your hand. And then target one effect, you can discard this card, target an effect monster you control, and send it to the graveyard. And if you do, special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck. So it's another good way to get a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck. And then you get 2 copies of White Stone of the Ancients. White Stone of the Ancients, unlike the White Stone of Legend, is during the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard, because it was sent there this turn, which is very easy to do, because you can have Dragon Shrine to dump that into the graveyard. You can special summon a Blue Eyes from your deck. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target a Blue Eyes monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So it's a good way to recycle and get Blue Eyes White Dragon back to your hand. And you can special summon a Blue Eyes when it's in the field, or in the graveyard, on the graveyard at the end phase of the turn. And then last but not least, just for the monsters, guys, it's going to have 2 copies of the White Stone of Legend. When this card is sent to the graveyard, just like it would be Dragon Shrine, you can add a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to your hand. Alright, that's going to be it for the monsters, guys. Now let's move on to the spells and traps. And the difference when I say that this time is the only thing that's being played here are going to be spell cards. My wife does not have any trap cards, so if you actually have any good suggestions for trap cards, please leave that in the comment section below, and I'll make sure to discuss that with her, and she'll probably more than likely add it or change some stuff in it, because, you know, honestly, this is just mostly spells and monsters in this deck. Alright, so we got 3 copies of Silver's Cry. Silver's Cry, you target a Dragon-type normal monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So you dump Blue Eyes White Dragon into your graveyard and then use this to special summon your Blue Eyes White Dragon. Then you get 2 copies of Dragon Shrine. Dragon Shrine is really, really good in this deck, because you can send a Dragon-type monster from your deck to the graveyard, and if that monster is a Dragon-type normal monster, you can send 1 more. So if you dump, obviously, if you dump Blue Eyes White Dragon, you can send another card to the graveyard, and then if you want to send, like, White Stone of Legend, you can send White Stone of Legend, and then add Blue Eyes White Dragon from your graveyard back to your hand. And then I get 2 copies of Majesty with Eyes of Blue. You send a Blue Eyes monster from, because it can be any Blue Eyes monster, guys. Blue Eyes monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard, then target a face-up monster on the field, and it cannot attack when it is face-up on the field, so it locks it down. It's kind of like its own Fog Blade or own Fiendish Chain or whatever. It locks the monster, and it isn't able to attack. And then just 1 copy of Mausoleum of White. Mausoleum of White is really good for the tuner monsters in this deck, because there's a lot of tuners. You are running a lot of them in here. And during your main phase, you can normal summon a level 1 light monster in addition to a normal summoner set. And then Once per turn, you can target a face-up monster you control, send a normal monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and if you do, the targeted monster gains attack and defense equal to the level of the monster in the graveyard times 100. To the end phase, you can banish the card from your graveyard and add a burst stream of destruction from your deck to your hand. So this is one of the cards that I was talking about. You don't have to have this in here if you don't want to, but this is another good way to get an additional normal summoner set so you can build your board up to be able to play your combos and to be able to play a lot of your bigger Blue Eyes monsters. And then this is 3 Dragon's Mirrors. I don't know if Dragon's Mirrors are limited to 1 or 2 or whatever. I haven't checked the ban list on that one. But like I said, my wife does not play meta. Like, she doesn't play, like, this deck there is no meta cards in this deck. She actually does have a lot of really good decks, like her Cyber Dragon deck, her Archfiend deck that I'm going to show you eventually, and her Shirakashi deck, which is actually really interesting. And I don't know about the Dragon's Mirror, so if you know, if it is banned, and it's only, I mean, not banned, if it's only limited to 1, then please refrain from commenting on it. Like I said, she doesn't play, like, tournaments or anything, obviously, like I don't, so she's not gonna, her deck's not gonna be, like, super, like, meta, and it's not really gonna happen, it's not gonna focus on all that. Then you've got 2 copies of Trade-In. Trade-In's good. You discard your Blue Eyes White Dragon, draw 2 cards. It's a good draw power to be able to bring it in there. 2 Cards of Conscience, another good way to draw. You discard a Dragon Tuner monster, and you draw 2 cards. 1 for 1 to discard a monster to special summon a tuner monster from your deck. That's a really good. And then you have Raigeki for to destroy all monsters, and then Heavy Storm for the spell and trap destructions. Alright guys, so that's going to be it for the spells. Now let's move on to the extra deck. Alright. So first we're going to have 1 copy of Blue Eyes Alternative Ultimate Dragon. Now that was definitely a mouthful. This card is beastly because it's a 4500, and your opponent cannot target this or destroy this card with card effects, so it's basically like a Red Eyes Dragoon. Once per turn, you can target 1 card your opponent controls, destroy it. If this card was fusion summoned using a monster above with the original was Blue Eyes Alternative Dragon, so if you use this using Alternative Dragon, you can target up to 3 cards your opponent controls instead, and this card cannot attack the effect that it's activated. So he makes it to where he cannot be destroyed or targeted by card effects, and so that way you can't lower its attack, you can't destroy it and get rid of it and stuff. The only way you can usually do it is if you Nibiru it or if you can negate it. Then I've got 1 copy of Neo Blue Eyes another long name, Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Now this one is awesome, just as good as the other one, Alternative Dragon. At the end of the damage step, if this is the only face-up card you control and the fusion monster is attacked, you can send a Blue Eyes fusion monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. So this is a really good card to be able to dump fusion monsters, Blue Eyes fusion monsters from your deck or extra deck into the graveyard, so you can special summon them. And then you got the classic Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. This guy was so cool back in the day. Really hard to get. I don't know anybody that even had it, but it was just like so cool to have been able to see it like in play. Most people use the whole Cyberstein combo long time ago, and to be able to special summon this thing. And then you had Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon. And then the 5-headed dragon. So this thing actually using Dragon's Mirror, you banish 5 dragon monsters to special summon this, and this thing has 5,000 attack. So it's really ridiculous. And this monster you can't take any battle damage and cannot be destroyed by battle with earth, water, fire, wind, or dark. So the only way to really get rid of it is to have a light monster, which ironically this is a light deck. And then you have Dragonite Draco Equoist or Equest. Then 2 copies of Azure Eyes Silver Dragon. You guys know by now what that does. Is this allows you to get more special summon Blue Eyes White Dragon from your graveyard, and they cannot target when it's first special summoned or synchro summoned. They cannot target dragon type monsters that you have with effects. And then you have 2 Blue Eye Spirit Dragons. Blue Eye Spirit Dragon is actually really good too. Neither player can special summon 2 or more monsters of the same type once per turn during either player's turn. When an effector card is in the graveyard is activated, you can negate the activation, so it's good for negating. And then during either player's turn, you contribute this synchro summon card to special summon a light dragon type synchro monster from your extra deck in defense mode. So it's another good way to get Azor Eyes Silver Dragon out if you don't want to use the Tuner or the Blue Eyes combo. And then Vermilion Dragon Mech, which is a really, really good card too. You can banish a Tuner monster from your graveyard or face up on the field, then target a card and destroy it. This card is synchro summoned, is destroyed by a card effect, and sent to the graveyard. You can target one of your banished tuners and add that back to your hand. So it's a really good card to recycle, because you can recycle the banished tuner monster and then add it back to your hand, so that way you can replay it like if it was a protector or if it was a maiden with eyes of blue. Which, by guys, I know you guys are loving this playmat. This is an awesome playmat, and actually goes with the sleeves. I don't know if I've gotten to show you the sleeve, the back of it, so these are really, really pretty. And it actually was not really that expensive, so please give me a like, comment on the playmat, guys, because that guy looks just as awesome as the sleeves itself. And then you have the Neo Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, the number 36 Dragonian, Thunder End Dragon, and then last but not least, Saryuka Skull Dread. Alright, so that's going to be it for this deck profile, guys. Thank you so much for giving a chance and watching it. And just leave any comment section or comments down in the section below and stuff, and tell me what you think. Tell me some things that you can add, maybe take out and everything, to kind of help improve the deck, because this is one of her favorite decks and everything, but we're always open to criticism in terms of just like, you know, what maybe not to play in here, what to put in, what to take out, and stuff like that. Alright, so I hope you guys really enjoyed this, and with that, see you guys next time. Later.